NBC 7 News at 4 starts now.
Okay, wait till you guys hear this story. We're going to begin with a stunning and frankly despicable case of identity theft. So get this, an employee with Scripps Health allegedly stole personal information of dying patients, and it gets worse, as part of a larger scheme to illegally obtain unemployment benefits during the pandemic. A lot to unpack. Good afternoon on a busy news day. I'm Mark Mullen. Catherine has a day off.
I'm Monica Dean. Thanks for being with us. NBC 7's Artie Ojeda is live from Balboa Park now with the troubling details. This is just unbelievable, Artie.
It really is, Monica and Mark, and we're talking about names, birth dates, social security numbers, and what makes this story so troubling is that we, of course, trust hospitals with our personal information. But in this case, a worker for Scripps Health allegedly sold that information, and it was used to apply for fraudulent COVID-19 unemployment benefits. All of the details laid out in this Department of Justice complaint unsealed several days ago. This guy died a few hours ago. This one just died, if you want to try. Stunning messages allegedly written by Matthew Lombardo, a former Scripps Health worker who, according to federal investigators, sold confidential patient information last August to several others to improperly obtain COVID-19 unemployment benefits. Lombardo was a part-time employee who worked as a patient services specialist. In a statement, Scripps says he was terminated on April 14, 2021 for cause. Scripps takes its responsibility for protecting patient privacy very seriously and is cooperating with the government investigation. While the complaint alleges information from deceased patients was sold, the group also had specific targets, seeking information from persons who were alive but gravely ill. Someone 55 or younger who is on their way out, maybe a couple of days or something. According to the Identity Theft Resource Center, in 2020, there was a 3,800% increase in the number of reported unemployment ID theft cases. The center's director calling on companies to be more vigilant.
Limit who has access to sensitive data. If they don't need it to do their job, then why do they have access to it? And in this case, this individual was a new employee and a part-time employee at that. Why was it necessary for that person to have access to this very sensitive and critical information?
And of course, for Scripps, this coming on the heels of that giant cyber attack. They did not tell us exactly which hospital where this happened. The complaint also does not say if the identity thieves were successful in obtaining those illegal benefits. I've reached out to federal authorities. They've yet to respond to any of my requests for more information on this case. Artie Ojeda, NBC 7.
You know, Artie, this is so disturbing because so often we do stories about protecting your information. And when you go to the hospital, you're so vulnerable. You're sharing that information with people you feel are in a position of trust. This is just so violating on so many levels.
Absolutely right there, Monica. And in fact, I brought up that subject with the identity theft spokesperson. And, I asked her, how does one protect themselves in a situation like that? And you're absolutely right. We trust hospitals in this situation with our personal information. And that's why she's calling on private companies like hospitals, to be more vigilant and be careful of who has access to that personal information.
Well, hopefully some people will be held accountable. All right. Thank you, Artie.
In other news, COVID-19 cases in children are on the rise. The American Academy of Pediatrics is reporting more than 23,000 new cases between July 8th and July 15th. It's a concerning trend, right, as many students are getting ready to head back to the classroom. NBC 7's Allie Raffa has more now from Rady Children's Hospital.
Vaccines for children under 12 are still months away, so I spoke with an infectious disease specialist here at Rady Children's about the Delta variant's risk to kids.
The timing is terrible. We were really all excited about going back to school.
Dr. Mark Sawyer is an infectious disease specialist at Rady Children's Hospital and has treated dozens of COVID-19 cases in children.
We are seeing more infections in children in the last few months. The Delta strain is much more contagious. It's spreading like wildfire.
The American Academy of Pediatrics reporting that 23,000 new cases in 1 week in July is almost double what was reported in late June.
We've gone from very low numbers to now the majority of the isolates are this new Delta strain.
No vaccine has been approved for those younger than 12 yet.
I'm hoping halfway through the school season we're going to have vaccines at least all the way down to age 5.
With so many at risk, the AAP now recommends school staff and all students ages 2 and up wear masks indoors, regardless of vaccination status.
The decision to use the vaccine and to use masks are the two most powerful tools we have to prevent transmission. And so I certainly support the AAP's position.
Dr. Sawyer says both the vaccine and masks only help in getting students back in the classroom.
We need to press ahead with opening schools. There are many, many reasons why going to school is important for children.
He says even though the variant symptoms are less severe in children in most cases, parents shouldn't take the threat any less seriously and should play a role in prevention.
I think they can set a good example and wear masks when they're around people. Parents should strongly consider getting their kids immunized when those vaccines are available.
Dr. Sawyer says we'll likely see many more COVID than flu cases these next few months, as many kids have received their flu shot but still can't get the vaccine. At Rady Children's Hospital, Allie Raffa, NBC 7.
The CDC also says that of the roughly 25 million children and teens between the ages of 12 and 17 eligible to be vaccinated right now, roughly 9 million only have received their first shot.
Speaking of kids, students in 2 local school districts are back in class in person today, and they are some of the first to do so in the state. Sweetwater Union High School District and Chula Vista Elementary School District started their school year this morning. They plan to have full day in-person instruction for the first time since the start of the pandemic. State Superintendent Tony Thurmond visited Camarena Elementary School in Otay Ranch to congratulate the students and faculty for returning to class.
And it's really important that everyone showed up. As you can see, there's high energy. Everyone is ready to learn. All of our students and staff are wearing their masks because we know that that is what we need to do to keep everyone safe. And we're just proud of them.
The superintendent also took a moment to encourage eligible students to get vaccinated. But in the meantime, he stressed the importance of wearing masks in school to help keep everyone safe.
The face masks were the only thing preventing teachers from seeing the smiles and first-day jitters on the faces of their students. NBC7's Joe Little was inside Vista Square Elementary, where the biggest problem was hearing the voices of some of the shyer students.
There was a lot of energy today on neighborhood sidewalks and in crosswalks as thousands of kids in Chula Vista and the South Bay finally returned to school. They waited outside, eager to begin the new year at schools like Vista Square Elementary.
Welcome to Vista Square, boys and girls. We love you.
It was fantastic.
Principal Marissa Allen couldn't wait to fill the school.
Kids are the spirit of the school, and the love that they bring, the genuine love, no judgments, no nothing. They're just so excited to learn and be here and be loved by our staff.
Any others over there, my friend?
And this is where they belong.
It feels great. It feels just amazing to come back into the classroom. Why would I need to rewind?
Juan Munoz says this is much better than talking to a screen.
It was really hard to just keep them engaged. Because what you said, the energy is one of the things, and now being here, I could be more live, more energetic to them. The forward, right? I can go forward.
I'm super happy and excited.
Christopher Aragon is a fan.
I hear better when I'm in class, and I get to do cool stuff with my teacher.
Good job, good point.
But Christopher admits he's not a fan of the mask.
Because sometimes if I don't have the size of my face, it's gonna fall down like this.
I would go to another subject. We're done with math?
Mr. Munoz agrees. It's not ideal, especially for some of the softer spoken kids.
It was a little bit difficult for them to have it on and just not able to speak that loud enough for us to hear everything that they said. But sometimes I have to pause.
But they'll work through it together and in person until it's time to go home in Chula Vista. Joe Little, NBC 7.
Seems like a really nice teacher, too. A great class. Sweetwater Union High School and Chula Vista Elementary School districts follow a year-round calendar. They do get longer breaks. We pass this on for all of the kids who are going back to school during the year compared to traditional school schedules.
U.S. border restrictions with Mexico and Canada for non-essential travel have been extended for another month. The restrictions could have ended today, but the federal government chose to extend them, citing concerns of spreading COVID-19 and the Delta variant. NBC7's Melissa Adan shares how this has negatively affected many San Ysidro businesses and jobs.
San Ysidro has been hit hard by the pandemic, and now with border restrictions being extended once again, places like this that was supposed to open up as a colorful swap meet are being forced to stall. What should look like a bright and busy street market is instead empty. The Angie swap meet is rather being used as a parking lot and storage facility until non-essential travel at the border reopens. This is an issue being felt by many, like this family-run shop, Rosie's Fashion.
It was pretty hard for people not coming. It was really hard for the coronavirus hitting us. No, people were working, so I had to help them.
Maria Teresa Espinosa says her whole family has been supporting her dad, who owns Rosie's Fashion along East San Ysidro Boulevard. The owner tells us he's had to cut down on his staff and is trying to be creative to keep his business up and running. This as non-essential travel continues to bar non-U.S. citizens from crossing the port of entry to shop and travel. The San Ysidro Chamber of Commerce says the losses are astronomical, citing an average year for retail sales in the busy border community is about $895 million. Jason Wells, chief executive of the chamber, says they are estimating sales within the past year to be about $250 million.
So you've got a 74% loss. I don't know what organization or company could withstand that. Obviously, we've got some great entrepreneurs here that have been able to do so, but 197 businesses haven't been able to and will never open their doors again.
San Ysidro business owners hope that these border restrictions open up very soon because all they want is this livelihood back in their town. In San Ysidro, Melissa Adan, NBC 7.
With the Delta variant on the rise in hospitals again, starting to see more and more patients, some top-level government officials are stepping out to urge that holdouts get vaccinated. The CDC says the Delta variant now accounts for more than 80% of new COVID infections, and it is tearing through unvaccinated populations, especially in the southern states. Now, several leading Republicans are pleading with people to roll up their sleeves.
These shots need to get in everybody's arm as rapidly as possible.
The U.S. is now averaging more than 1,000 new infections every hour. In 9 states, deaths have surged 80% or more. Of those deaths, health officials say 99.5% of those who died had not been vaccinated. Also, as we continue, COVID vaccine fact check. There are lots of assumptions out there about the vaccine and its supposed side effects. NBC7 spoke to doctors and medical experts to fact-check those claims.
Plus, the journey getting to Tokyo. NBC7 morning anchor Stephen Luke shows us how his trip to the Olympics, host city, was very different this year because of the pandemic.
And, of course, we'll take a look at what's happening outside here in San Diego for you. 2 waves of some monsoon moisture heading your way with thunderstorms in the forecast. I'll be back in a few moments. We'll take a look.